bacterias, or in singular they are called as bacterium. They were single cell organisms, and they could have different shape and sizes. Some of them are round, like you can see in this image. Some of them are round, some of them are having a comma shape, some of them are spiral, some of them are having a rod shaped. So they can have different shapes, they can have different size, but all of them are just made up of only one cell, that is they are unicellular. And we also learned that they are prokaryotic, meaning that their nucleus is not true, their nucleus is not well organized, right? Now also we have learned that some bacterias are some bacterias will be autotrophic also. There will be some bacterias that will contain chlorophyll in them. So some of the bacterias can be autotrophic, while majority of the bacterias are either heterotrophic or saprophytic. Most of them are heterotrophic. So how are they heterotrophic? They can either have a saprophytic mode of nutrition or have a parasitic mode of nutrition. Getting it now?
Yes.
So those were the things we learned about bacteria. We learned about some of the uses of bacteria also, like we can use it in pharmaceutical industry, uh, in making of curd, in nitrogen fixation. Some of the bacteria are helpful in making of biogas. It is important. Making of cheese, there also it is important. For making antibiotics also it is important, right? Now then we also learned about that they are known to cause several diseases also. There was this list of disease. Later on we would be looking at the harmful impacts and the benefits of bacteria, algae, protozoa, everything we'll be learning about that also. Right now we're just having a description. Right now so far we just had a description of different groups of microorganisms. Then we learned about fungi as well. So we learned that fungi, or in singular, they are called as fungus. Fungi or fungus. They are a group of plant-like organisms, and they can either be saprophytic or either they can be parasitic. Right now, their mode of nutrition can either be saprophytic or heterotrophic or parasitic, and they would be commonly found on where? Like they would be commonly found, can be found on bread. They can be found in damp areas, right? Now some of the examples of the fungi were as follows. You have yeast, you have rhizopus, aspergillus was there, mushroom is there, right? Now apart from that also we had several examples, right? Now so we had several examples of fungi. We had bread mold, that is also called as rhizopus, rhizopus or bread mold, aspergillus, yeast, etc. We learned that we learned that they can be either multicellular, either they can be unicellular also, but most of them are multicellular, and they are not microscopic. Most of them are not microscopic, meaning that you can see them with your bare eyes, right? Now for example you have yeast, or you have like this yeast, or you have the example of like penicillium. hmm, Penicillium. So these were some of the examples of unicellular fungi, and we had the examples of multicellular fungi as well. We learned about these things. After having learned about this, we learned about the uses of fungi also. Like fungi will be used in the production of antibiotics. Antibiotics, it would be used in production of medicines such as penicillin, streptomycin. These are some of the common antibiotics. We learned that mushroom is a highly proteinaceous source of food. That is also a mushroom basically. It is consumed in the form of food. In the baking industry, and in the manufacture of alcohol, a common fungi called as yeast is used. So we learned about that as well. Yeast basically helps in the process of fermentation, whereby what will it do? It will convert sugary substances, sugary fruits, different kind of sugary fruits into acids, gases, or alcohol. This is carried on by the process called as fermentation. So we had learned about that as well. We learned that fungi are known to cause some of the diseases like ringworm, like athlete's foot. Getting it, Aisha?
Yes, sir.
So these were the things we learned. Then we also, I believe, learned about. We were about to discuss about. No, we learned about algae also. This topic was also completed, right? We learned several things about algae, that they are autotrophic organisms. Algae are autotrophic now since they have chlorophyll in them and they can perform photosynthesis, right? Okay, now
Yes, sir.
also alga they can be called as grass of water. They are sometimes called as grass of water as well because they look like grass in aquatic habitats. If you look at them from a distance, it would appear if like there are some grasses growing on the water body. Apart from alga, I mean to say, we had in this group now we had several examples of alga like Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra. They are the examples of some of the common alga. Then there are different uses of alga. This is the topic which we are about to discuss, right? This topic was not discussed. Okay, no?
Yes, yes.
So see, alga would be used in several places. Has anyone else joined the class?
No,
Only you are
sir.
in the class today. Okay, okay. See, alga plays an important role in the manufacture of medicine. It is important for agriculture. It is used in industry. It is used as a food also. So some of the common uses of alga are as follows. It will be used in manufacture of certain type of medicines. Right now, see,
Yes.
particularly the green alga. The green alga, the name is chlorella. There's an alga whose name is chlorella. This yields an important antibiotic called as chlorellin. Chlorellin. Let me write its name. There's an alga called as chlorella. Okay. And this using this alga, we are making an important antibiotic. Okay. So this green alga chlorella yields an important antibiotic called as chlorellin. Getting it now? So in manufacture of medicines, alga is being used. So this is an antibiotic called as chlorellin that is derived from the alga called as chlorella. That is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Further, as I told you, it will be used in the industry also. How? See, in the industry, we obtain certain algal products. You would be obtaining certain algal products like this. Algal products like agar and algin. These are the products obtained from red and brown algae. Agar and algin are obtained from red and brown algae. I believe I might have had an image of that in the slide. If not, let me just show you an image of it so that you can have a better memory of it or you can just understand it in a better manner. Okay, now see, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, now this is agar. It is obtained from red alga. Okay, now then you have algin also, agar and algin. Let me just search for algin only. See, this is a product obtained from brown alga. Look at this one over here. The one that I have selected over here. This one over here. Getting it, Aisha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is one such. These are the products obtained from alga. Right now, agar is obtained from red alga, and algin is obtained from brown alga. Right now. Now you might ask, like, what is this agar and algin? Why will we studying about this? What are its uses? The thing is now, this agar it is used as a substitute for gelatin. Like gelatin is added in soups and different food items. So let me write it over here that agar is used as a alternative for gelatin. Furthermore, this agar will be used in ice creams also. It is used as an alternative for gelatin. It is used in ice creams. So that is the use of agar. Is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Right now. Furthermore, like apart from ice creams, it would be used in making jelly creams also. In making of jellies also. You understand what are jellies? Edible jellies. So that is
Yes.
what is that? That is what agar is. Okay, na? So hope you have got this. Now talking about what is this algin. Well, first of all, do tell me where do we get this agar from? From the red algae or from the brown algae? Yes, red algae. Very good. Talking about algin. So let me write it somewhere. I'm writing it over here. Okay, no, because not sufficient space is there. So algin, which is obtained from brown alga, it is used to make medicines. Used to make medicines, and those medicines will be helpful in reducing the pain and inflammation. Right now, for example, someone is suffering from arthritis, huh, where there's pain in joints, in bones, so that will give relief to the patient. It is used to make medicines that give relief from arthritis. Okay, now. So that is what agar and algin are. Hope you guys have understood that. Okay. So that is one such use of alga in industry where it would be used to obtain algal products like agar and algin. Hope both of you have understood this. Later on in industries now, like these things are being manufactured at an industry level. Okay, now these things are being manufactured at an industry level. That's why they are called as industrial products, agar and algin. Furthermore, a certain type of alga they are a good source of iodine, sodium, potassium. Right now, for example, brown alga, that was B, that was A. Hmm. So you have certain type of alga like brown alga. So brown alga is a good source. It's a good source of sodium, potassium, and iodine. Sodium, potassium, and iodine. So these are the important minerals that your body requires. No? You know, some amount of minerals required by your body for proper functioning. Getting it? Like for example, iodine is important for the proper functioning of your heart, for the proper functioning of your heart, and for making of a hormone called as thyroxine. Similarly, sodium is also important for the good health of the nervous system of your body. Getting it, guys? So these are the important minerals that your body requires, like sodium, potassium, and iodine. By consuming brown algae, our body can get this. All right, now. Then you have a special type of an alga. You might have heard of this alga, kelp, particularly found in oceans. See, this is how kelp basically looks like. Is Ibrahim there in the class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ibrahim. How are you? Unfortunately, today I couldn't uh, join with my computer. Thereby, won't be able to turn my camera on. See, this is what kelp is, guys. Ever seen this like in uh, somewhere like in YouTube or somewhere? Ever seen this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is kelp. And kelps are a good source of iodine. Okay, na? Iodine is obtained from it. Obtained from kelp. Okay, Aisha, Ibrahim. These are some of
Yes,
the
sir.
other uses of alga. So previously, so far we have learned that it would be an alga named as chlorella will be used to make an antibiotic called as chlorelin. Then you have some algal products like agar and algin that would be obtained from red and brown alga, right? Agar, which is obtained from red alga, is used as alternative for gelatin. Gelatin is used as a thickener in soups. It is used as a thickener for soups. So you can replace gelatin with agar. Agar is also used in making of certain creams, ice creams, jellies, etc. Okay. Then you have algin that is used to make medicines, though particularly those kind of medicines that would be giving you relief from arthritis. You guys understand what is arthritis? Yes, Ibrahim?
No, sir.
No. Arthritis is a condition where the patient would be suffering from pain in joints. Okay, now pain in joints. That is what arthritis is. Furthermore, brown alga is a good source of sodium, potassium, and iodine, and particularly the scalp is a good source of iodine as well. Okay. Now, another important thing is that even in agriculture, also, alga play a very important role. In the field of agriculture, also, it is playing an important role. Like alga can be used as manure. You guys understand what is manure? It's an
Yes,
organic
sir.
fertilizer. Good. So many of the seaweeds are directly added to agriculture field. Many of the seaweeds would be directly added to the agriculture field as they would be enhancing the nutrients in the soil, thereby improves the fertility of soil. See, these seaweeds that you see over here, these are basically alga, and they can be added directly to the soil in order to enhance its fertility. Getting it now? Because since these are the organic things, and as you add them into the soil, the nutrient capacity of the soil will be enriched. Getting it now, guys? So in that manner also we can use alga to enhance the fertility of the soil. Hope that is clear. Now these seaweeds that you are seeing over here, like this first, second, and third image, all of them are seaweed. What is special about the seaweeds now? That they are a rich source of minerals like nitrogen and potassium. They are rich in nitrogen and potassium. So thereby, also we know that minerals like in the first chapter you guys would have studied, like minerals like nitrogen is important for the soil. It is required by the plants, isn't it? Then potassium is also one of the nutrient required by the plant. In fact, nitrogen and potassium, these are the macronutrients. They are required by the plants in sufficient quantity, isn't that? Yeah, Aisha, Ibrahim. So thereby
Yes, sir.
addition of them to the soil will enhance the fertility of soil. So addition of seaweeds improves soil fertility. So hope that is also clear to both of you. Now furthermore, we know that there is a concept called as nitrogen fixation. You guys would have already studied about it, nitrogen fixation, right? Which is the bacteria helping in nitrogen fixation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Aisha, which bacteria helps in nitrogen fixation? Hello, hope I'm audible to both of you.
Yes, sir.
Vaike hasn't joined today, yeah? So guys, answer
No,
the
sir.
question. Which bacteria helps in nitrogen fixation? Didn't it? It was rhizobium bacteria. Yes.
Yes, sir. Right.
Hmm. See, apart from rhizobium bacteria, also there are some algae also. Right now, there are some algae like blue-green algae. Algae like like blue green algae helps in nitrogen fixation. Helps in nitrogen fixation to the soil. Thereby, in the field of agriculture, they are also important in nitrogen fixation as well. So, hope you guys have understood. Right now, we know that plants cannot directly take the nitrogen gas from the atmosphere. So the atmospheric nitrogen gas has to be converted into particular compounds. Like they have to be converted into compounds like nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen trioxide, or ammonia. So these are the forms in which plants can take up nitrogen. While in the air, it is in the form of N2. This is the state in which nitrogen gas is there in the atmosphere. But plants can't take it directly. They require it to be converted into soluble compounds like this. Getting both of you know. So thereby there also it is
Yes.
important. Okay, now you would be surprised to know that even green, like as you can see in the first image over here where I'm pointing, see algae are being used to make fuel as well. They can be used to make fuel also. So another uses, they are being used to make fuels as well. How it is done, that is not much important. Furthermore, another important use of algae is that they are used as food also. Right now, they are used as food also. Particularly, there's an alga, there's a red alga called as porphyra. Porphyra, I mean to say. Porphyra. It is directly used as a food. If you were to visit countries like China or countries like Japan, there you'd be seeing that people will be directly consuming this red alga. Porphyra, the name of the alga is porphyra. It is directly used in China and Japan as food. Is that clear to both of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then another use of algae is that it would be used as fodder also. So some of the seaweeds like laminaria, there are some seaweeds. Some seaweeds like laminaria is used as fodder. Is used as fodder. You guys understand what is fodder, right?
Sir.
No or yes?
No,
No.
sir.
No. Fodder is basically food for the food that you provide to cattle, to herbivorous animals. That is what fodder is now. Okay. The food of the cattle's, sheep's, basically goats. That is basically fodder. Let me show you an image of this laminaria which I'm talking about. See, this is what I'm actually talking about. So this can be directly used as a food for sheep, for goats. Getting it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Looks very much similar to kelp, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Kind of looks very similar to kelp. So that is a laminaria. So hope so far everyone have understood what are the different uses of alga. Who will tell me what are the different uses of alga we studied so far? Yes,
It is used in industries and
it is
in making medicines.
medicines, good. And
It is used to like get algae and agar.
good, very good. And
It can be used in agriculture.
agriculture, very good. As a manure, it can be used in agriculture, right?
Yeah, as a manure.
And there's an alga that goes by the name blue green alga that helps in nitrogen fixation, isn't it? It's a blue green alga that helps in nitrogen fixation, right? Then we also learned that some of the alga, like brown alga or kelp, they are a good source of sodium, potassium, and iodine. So thereby they can be kind of consumed in the form of food also. They have to be processed and then can be consumed in that manner. We learned are used as fuel also. They are used as fodder, and particularly some alga like red alga like porphyra. It is directly used in countries like China and Japan as food. So hope that much is clear to everyone. So that was all
Yes,
about
sir.
Yes.
alga which we have learned. Next, we have got protozoa. So protozoa are unicellular organisms. That is important thing about them. Some of them would be found to be living independently, while others would be living as parasites, meaning that they would be living in the body of a host organism, right? So they can either be found to be living alone, that is independent, or could depend on an organism to obtain nutrition. Many of the parasitic protozoa causes diseases in plants. Like you have heard of disease like malaria. Malaria is caused by a protozoa actually, right now. So many of the parasitic protozoans will be causing disease in plants, in domestic animals, and in human beings also. Some of the common examples of protozoa are as follows. We have amoeba, plasmodium, and paramecium. All of these three are known to cause deadly diseases in human beings right now. Now, if you were to look at the structure, you'd look at them that they would be exhibiting features like that of an animal, meaning to say that uh, if you were to look at their body, you can look, there are some hair like structures surrounding their body. Like, look at this protozoa whose name is paramecium. Looks kind of have a slipper shape, just like how a slipper looks like now, isn't it? Looks similar to the shape of a slipper. So it would be having some special hair-like structures on its body called as cilia, which it would be using to move around, move around and take in food. So with the help of special structures called as cilia, cilia will help it for locomotion, for moving from one place to another, and it also helps it in engulfing food, taking in food. Right now, so the cilia has got two functions to perform. The first is to help it to move around. Another is to help it to take the food. Getting it right now. Furthermore, if you were to look at some other protozoa like this amoeba also, like whenever there will be a food nearby to this amoeba, whenever there's a prey nearby, like you can see over here, this is the prey and that has been trapped by this amoeba. So what basically an amoeba does, like you have an amoeba over here, for example, like this. Say there's a prey, there's a food particle, or there's a food for this amoeba. Right now, it could be some smaller bacterias. Amoeba can feed on small bacterias. It can feed on alga. It can feed on a variety of things. So what it will do now, it will start to form false legs around that. And slowly what it is going to do, it is going to, in the next, see over here, it will start to surround its prey like this right now. So it is forming false legs. It is forming false legs that is called as pseudopodia. We call them as pseudopodia. And now in this image over, let's say this is the first image, this is second image. In the third image, you can observe that now the prey has been trapped by this false leg. Getting it, guys? So
Yes,
this is
sir.
also known to form leg-like structure, false leg-like structure. Right now, also forming leg-like structure and moving from one place to another like this, all these are the features of an animal now. Like animals are usually known to move in from one place to another, show some movement. So you should know that protozoa, the word protozoa literally means the first animal. The word protozoan, the word protozoan The literal meaning of this word now, the word protozoan literally basically means the first animal. Getting it, guys? The first animal, right? So protozoa are said to be animal-like organisms. Right now, they are known to be animal-like organisms. So hope you guys have understood what we have discussed about protozoa so far. Let me quickly summarize what are the things we learned. First thing we learned that they are unicellular. That is, their body is just made up of one cell. Some of them would be living independently, while others would be living as parasites. No matter whether they live independently or parasite, they are heterotrophic in nature. Getting it now?
Yes,
So
sir.
heterotrophic. There could be some exceptions, but majority of them are heterotrophic. Most of them are heterotrophic in nature, meaning that they would be deriving nutrition from other organisms. Okay, now. And then you have the common examples amoeba, plasmodium, and paramecium. Hope you guys have understood it so far. Now let us learn what are the diseases caused by protozoa. What are the disease caused by them? Right. See, if you were to talk about the human body alone, there are around 15 different types of protozoans that would be living as parasites within the human body. How many? Around 15 different type of protozoans would be found to be living within your body. It could be found in the gut of the body, right? In the intestines, in the stomach, particularly in the intestine. Getting it, guys? The protozoa, which we were learning about moments ago, we have learned about it that they are kind of they are group of single cell, basically unicellular microorganisms, which are classified as animals. Basically, the name protozoa literally means the first animal, right? So they are animal-like organisms. Just like previously we learned about alga, that alga are plant-like organisms. No? Why alga are called as plant-like organisms? Can anyone tell me? Yes. I suppose I'm audible, although I won't be able to turn my camera on. I'm not visible, but I suppose I'm audible to everyone.
Sir,
Yeah. Is Jeffrey there in the class today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Jeffrey, you might not have learned about this previously. I believe this is your first class in the batch or second class, I think. Were you
Second
present
class.
when we were discussing about algo?
No, sir.
No. Aisha, were you present?
No, sir.
No. Okay. See, basically the thing is like today we discussed about it. Today we again revised this concept, but just let me revise it once again. I suppose some of you are unable to recall it. For those of you who haven't attended this class, let me just recap it. See, algae, they are simple plant-like organisms which are usually found to be living in water. Wherever there would be water, availability of water, there algae will grow. You can have seen that at moist places near the well, near the tap water, if you don't maintain hygienic conditions, it will start to grow there. Right? It can be found to be growing near the drains, etc. Now, algae, they are photosynthetic in nature because they have a green pigment called as chlorophyll in them. Thereby, they are photosynthetic, and hence we know that usually plants are photosynthetic, but there's a microorganism which is alga. They are also photosynthetic. So, doesn't it make them plant-like organisms since they can also perform photosynthesis? Yes, Ibrahim, Jeffrey, Aisha, do tell me. Right now.
sir.
So that
Yes, sir.
makes them plant-like organisms. Also, another important feature about them is that they contain a cell wall, just like plant cells contain a cell wall. No? Just
Yes,
like
sir.
plant cells contain cell wall, so they do also have a cell wall surrounding their body. So hope that is clear then. Okay. Some of the common examples of algae were as follows. We have the examples of diatoms, chlamydomonas, seaweed. These are some of the examples of algae. Okay. You can have some other examples which we have discussed in the class, like kelp, or you have red alga, you have brown alga, you have the example of blue-green alga, which we have learned moments ago, right? Also, they can be unicellular and multicellular both. So keep that in mind. So alga, as I was telling you, that they are plant-like organisms. Just like alga, you have the protozoa, and protozoa are animal-like organisms. They are animal-like organisms, and in fact, the term literally means the first animal. Okay,
Okay.
where can the protozoans found to be living? What is their habitat? So they can be found to be living in dirty water. They would be found to be living in dirty water, in the rivers. They can be found in the sea water. They can be found in the dam soil, basically moist soil. Dam soil means moist soil.
Want
It
water?
which one?
Want water?
Pond also, yeah. There also it will be found good, right? Furthermore, they would be known to cause several diseases also. They are known to cause disease, like for example, they cause disease like dysentery, huh? Or they are known to cause disease like malaria. These are some of the disease caused by them, right now. So you would be learning about that in detail. You had the common examples as well, as I told you. You have the common example of, like, you have paramecium is there, you have amoeba, paramecium and amoeba. And then you have one more example, like plasmodium. Although there are thousands of different protozoa, but we have some of the common examples. Like you have the example of protozoa, amoeba. Let us count all of them. You have amoeba, plasmodium, paramecium. Apart from this, there are some other also, like anti-amoeba is there. Anti-amoeba is also there. So these four are the most common types of protozoa which we have. What are they? Amoeba, plasmodium, paramecium, and anti-amoeba. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Good. Everyone have to remember these examples also. Okay. They will be known to cause several type of diseases. For example, as I told you, in the human body alone, there would be 15 different types of protozoa found to be living as parasites. Okay. Now there's a disease called as amoebiasis. There's a disease called as amoebiasis, which is also called as amoebic dysentery. Okay, now it is caused by a protozoa called as anti-amoeba histolytica. So this amoeba called as anti-amoeba histolytica, it lives in the large intestine of human, and it be feeding on the food particles and the bacteria also. You know that the food particle that is there in the large intestine, and there are some good bacteria also in the large intestine. So they will be eaten by this bacteria. Getting it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's a parasitic infection. It's an infection caused by this anti-amoeba histolytica, which is a protozoa. So it is an intestinal infection. Okay, now it is an intestinal infection. How does it happen? If someone were to eat uncooked food, huh? Eat uncooked food, or drink dirty water, thereby it will spread. So basically, the cause of amoebiasis is consuming contaminated food or water. Okay, so thereby the person would develop symptoms like you'd be suffering from diarrhea, from dysentery. There could be blood and mucus coming in the fecal matter, in the solid waste, that is a stool. and it can spread from one place to another via housefly. It would be acting as a carrier for transmitting this parasite from contaminated fecal matter and water. See, you see, like even in certain parts of India, like it's still not open defecation free. People would be openly defecating in certain villages of India. So, like on the waste material, the flies would be sitting on the stool, and if that flies were to sit on the food, if that were to sit on the food, so thereby it would be transmitting now. Getting what
Yes,
I'm trying
sir.
to say?
Yes, sir.
Right now, so the waste that the solid waste that would be that would be excreted by this person, that will contain anti-amoeba histolytica in it. The house flies would transmit that protozoa from the waste material to the food if it were to sit on that food. So this is one such example of a disease that is caused by it. Although this is just remember this much, that amoebiasis is a disease caused by anti-amoeba histolytica. You guys have to remember just this much. The symptoms and how it is transmitted, all that is not going to come in the exam. Okay. So what is important for you to remember? Just remember that there's a disease called as amoebiasis that infects your large intestine and is caused by a protozoa. The name is anti-amoeba histolytica. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Good. Then there's another interesting disease called as African sleeping sickness. Ever heard about this?
No, sir.
No. See, what basically happens in African sleeping sickness? There's a bacteria called as Trypanosoma brucei. There's a not bacteria, I mean to say, there's a protozoa right now. So what will basically happen in this case now? The person would be suffering from fever. He would be suffering from headache. There would be pain in the joints. There would be itching. So this is caused by another protozoa. This is caused by a protozoa. So African sleeping sickness is also one such disease that is caused by protozoa. The name is Trypanosoma gambians. This is the structure of that protozoa. Although it is not important to remember, but just know that this is one such a disease caused by a protozoa. So far, what are the two diseases we have learned? So far, we learned about two diseases caused by protozoa. What were they?
Am amoebiasis,
Amoebiasis,
amoebiasis, yeah, and
African
sleeping sickness.
African sleeping sickness. Very good. Okay. Now, in your books, you would be you'll find the name of this disease, malaria. The most common disease caused by protozoa. The name of the protozoa is Plasmodium. So there's a protozoa called as Plasmodium that is known to cause this disease called as malaria. So what basically happens? You know that say there's an infected person, right? Now say this mosquito is feeding on the blood on the hand of this infected person, let us say. Okay. It is sitting feeding on the hand of this infected person. So in the nerves of this infected person, Plasmodium will be found to be living. Say that this is Plasmodium. You guys are understanding now what I'm trying to explain?
Yes, sir.
So Plasmodium, which is a protozoa, it would be found to be living in the blood. Where exactly in the blood? It would be found to be living in the red blood cells. RBC, in short called as RBCs, red blood cells. Okay. So this Plasmodium that is found to be living in the red blood cells, when it will be sucked by this mosquito, so that Plasmodium goes into the belly of this mosquito, or it will be his proboscis. You understand what is proboscis? Basically the mouth, the pipe by which it sucks the blood, that is proboscis. So he would be sucking it via his proboscis, so it would be getting infected with this plasmodium protozoa. So whenever this part, also you should know that this is a female Anopheles mosquito. Only the female mosquitoes are known to bite. The male mosquitoes do not bite. Getting it, guys? So this is a female mosquito, and particularly it's a female Anopheles. The name of the mosquito is female Anopheles. So right now, so as it sits to suck the blood of this infected person, in the blood of this infected person, this plasmodium protozoa will be found, and as it goes into the blood of this into the belly of this mosquito, and its proboscis is also infected. So when it will sit on a healthy person, so thereby will it not be transmitting the infection to a healthy person also, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, so in that manner malaria is transmitted from an infected person to a healthy person via the carrier name is female Anopheles mosquito. Hope you guys have understood that. Okay now,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
so if there's any confusion in it, please do let me know. Any questions regarding this?
No, sir.
No? Good then. Furthermore, if you were to understand, like, can there be uses of protozoa? An interesting question. Can there be any use of protozoa? So yes, there are some uses of protozoa. Uses of protozoans are as follows. See, some of the free living protozoa, meaning that some of the protozoa that are known to be living independently. In the beginning, we learned that some of the protozoa are found to be living independently, meaning living alone. Right now, so they are an important source of food for the aquatic organisms. Right now, see, over here, uses of protozoa. So there are some free living protozoa like independent or free living protozoans. Independent or free living protozoans would be basically are important in the seafood chain. They are important in the seafood chain. There would be a food chain in the water bodies as well. Just like you have food chain on the land, there would be food chain in the water body as well. Fishes would be certain small fishes would be eating the protozoans, and those fishes would be eaten by the bigger fishes. So there is a food chain going in the seawater as well, in the water body also. Furthermore, there are some in the independent free living protozoans. They would be feeding on algae right now. So they feed on algae. So they feed on algae, and in return, they are eaten by larger animals, bigger animals. So they feed on algae, and in return, they are eaten by bigger animals. So it's kind of a food chain that is going on, right? So see that this is a protozoa, right? This is an algae, let us say. So this algae is being eaten by this protozoan. Okay, na guys. And this protozoan will be eaten by, let's say, some bigger animals in the water. So isn't it a kind of a food chain? Just like you have grass is eaten by the herbivores eaten by omnivores and carnivores, like that. Hmm? So that is the food chain going under the water body. So that is one such use of protozoa. Okay, na? Furthermore, you know that some of the protozoa would be helping in decomposition of the waste also. They would be helping in keeping the environment clean, right now. So some type of protozoans helps in the degradation of waste and sewage materials. So some protozoans helps in decomposition of wastes. That is one such use. Okay, now another important use of protozoans are that some of them would be used as a research material in in certain biological activities. Some are used as research materials, right? Suppose you have made some we have prepared some new medicines, or we have prepared like antibiotics or vaccines, and we want to do some research on it, like how that medicine is, how the protozoans would react if we were to put some medicines on them. So in the field of biology, it's to do for various biological activities, it would be used as a research material. So some are used as research material to carry out certain biological activities. So hope you guys have understood it so far. So let us quickly summarize what we learned so far. So far we learned that some free living protozoans are important in the food chain found under in the water. Like some independently living protozoans would be feeding on algae, and in return the protozoans would be eaten by the bigger animals. Getting it, guys? So they are an important part of the food chain, aquatic food chain. Some would be helping in the degradation of waste materials, right? So thereby they would be helpful in keeping the environment clean. Some would be helping in research materials. Some of them would be used as research material to carry out certain biological activities. So those are the uses of protozoa, and we also learned what are the harms caused by protozoa. So hope you guys have understood it so far. Is that clear
Yes,
to
sir.
everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so that's it for today. Aisha, Jeffrey, and Ibrahim, if you guys have any doubts, any questions, please do let me know. Yes.
Sir, this plasmodium is present in our body.
No, it will enter into our body if we were to consume infected food, the food that is infected by this by this by this protozoa named as plasmodium, or if it we were to be bitten by this female anopheles. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So that is the thing. Okay, so I'm going to ask some questions to you guys, although the class is over, but let's just do some questions. In the next class, we'll be learning about viruses. Okay, no?
Okay.
Okay, do tell me, yeast, is it a alga? Is it a fungi? Is it a bacteria? What is it?
Bacteria.
Wrong. It's not a bacteria. What is this yeast?
Algae.
How can it be algae? It's a fungi, no? For those of you who haven't attended the previous classes, kindly watch the recording of the class. While we were talking about fungi in the bash, we learned that yeast is one of the example of fungi. Okay. Look over here. This first image, that is of a yeast. Okay, now that is a yeast. Okay, do tell me, the formation of curd by milk is done by which of the following? Is it done by a lactobacillus? Is it done by molds, yeast, or is it done by bacteria?
Lactobacillus.
This is the
Lactose.
lactobacillus bacteria. Good, good. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. We'll be meeting in next class then.